Welcome to Yvonne Michelle's exclusive R Retreat, happening on Saturday the 30th of October 2021, located at the Holiday Inn Hotel, Kensington High Street, London. Now, you may be single and you may want to meet the person of your dreams. You may even be in a relationship and want to add some spice, improve your communication skills within your partnership. Well, this retreat has been specifically designed to help you improve your relationship and personal development status and empower you to rebuild a healthy, more vibrant relationship with yourself and others. So with a choice of a one-day package or an overnight stay, you will have full use of the hotel spa facilities and have an amazing experience. So book today, do not delay.
You ready? You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of After Dark Talk. You know who I am. It's your girl Yvonne Michelle. Yeah, you know, because you are here every week supporting the show. And I want to thank you for being here and supporting this show week in, week out. Now, I believe we are on episode 9 of season 2. And it's actually episode 10. Season 2. So we are going through, we've hit the ground running. We've been talking about lots and lots of different aspects of relationships. And we've been doing that because we are having a retreat at the end of October. So not long now. So those of you who have been watching the show, you will know that we've been talking about the R retreat, the relationship retreat that we've been putting on because of you guys, because of the show, and because we recognize that there are a lot of people who are struggling in their relationships. However, I've got some news for you. There's been some changes. Yes. We have made some changes. And due to unforeseen circumstances, we have changed the venue. Yes, we have. Now, we have been publicising that we are going to be going to Whitbury Hall in Northamptonshire. However, because of this new era that we're living in, because of COVID-19 and because of all the restrictions and everything that have been put in place, we felt, myself and my team felt that it was more beneficial to bring the retreat a little bit closer to home. So the retreat now is in, wait for it. It's in London. Yes, we are bringing the R retreat to London. Yes, we are. It will take place. If you was watching the video before, you would have seen that we are now at the Holiday Inn Kensington High Street, and it has all of the amenities that we would have had at Whitbury Hall, apart from the greenery. There's a couple of trees outside if you look out a window, but that's about it. No grass or anything like that. But it's a very, very nice hotel. And, you know, the package is the same. We're doing the one-day special. So if you do want to come down and join us. Now, I'm going to put the link up on to the screen as well. If you want details, you just go straight to my website, which is www.yvonnemichelle.com. Then there's a /R retreat. Then there's another /. But if you go to yvonnemichelle.com, you will see it on the hyperlink. Just click the link, look at the information and book your ticket. Tickets are going fast now, so make sure that you book because there will be none on the door. None on the door at all. You do need to book before the time because we are in the hotel. And if you want to stay overnight, you can also and use all of the facilities. They've got a beautiful spa, beautiful swimming pool, lovely amenities. So that is the R retreat. So You gotta come. If you are struggling in your relationship, if you are struggling and you're finding it hard to let go, let me tell you, I've got a lovely young man in the studio who can really help you, and he's very, very helpful. Yes, he is. But he will also be speaking at the retreat. And so, without further ado, I am going to bring in our guest. Daniel, how are you?
I'm very well, Yvonne. Thank you very much for having me again.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Listen, you're here by popular demand because people keep saying, when's Daniel coming back? When's Daniel coming back? They really enjoyed your show.
I'm really happy that it did. I think a lot of people do need, to let go. So,
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to be talking about. So,
Yeah, we are. But before we get into that, I mean, I've been observing what's going on in the news, and I can't not mention the fact of the verdict of R. Kelly and all of that, because we know that there are women and apparently men now that have come forward, because I thought it was just women, but now there's men coming forward that's saying that he abused them and all of that kind of traumatic stuff that they would have gone through. And so now it's like, I'm looking and I'm wondering, how are they going to deal with that now that it's out in the open?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's various stages, when someone experiences trauma, there's various stages in that. So, and it depends. It depends what kind of support network they have, who they have with them, and obviously their limelight is going to be on them as well. So, it will definitely be a challenging time, and this is where understanding how exactly what you're carrying will help. And being honest as well, being honest with yourself, being honest with what is going on in your life, and and also the want to heal as well. That may come later on. Because often there's anger, there's upset, and that may last a while. That may last a long time.
And I'm just wondering what help he will get. And I know people will think, oh, why even bother with him? But there were some things that came out in the trial in terms of his childhood and his abuse, and that he doesn't speak. He never spoke. His brother spoke about it and gave an account of what he went through. But R. Kelly himself has never really spoken about the trauma that he went through as a child and as a young person. So, I think they say hurt people. You know, and I think this is a case.
And I think that's you have to be able to see both sides when something happens, no matter what it is, then your ability to see both sides will help with healing everything, raising the consciousness of everyone concerned so that true healing can occur on all levels. So for the victim, for the person who's doing the victim, perpetrator, that needs to be understood what they are carrying so that these incidents don't reoccur. Because ultimately, he was a victim himself. So if you don't understand that and don't go into the reasons why at the energetic level, then the same cycle can reoccur. So, his victims may have an opportunity to stop the cycle as well, but then they have to go through that process. And they have to let go deep within themselves. And they may not be ready for that yet.
No.
Yeah.
I just thought, I wonder what help they're getting. You could put your services forward, Daniel. See if anyone, takes a shot and says, okay, we need the help. Because we know in our own lifetime, we're not in America, but we're in the UK, and we know that people have gone through traumas similar to what we're reading about in the news.
I think, we say we've gone through traumas, and so many people have, but there's a viewpoint that almost everything is a trauma. So whenever we have some sort of incident that we don't accept, that we refuse, that in itself is a trauma. It could be something as small as our toy getting taken away from when we were young. And there's a part of us then that holds on to this belief and all this emotion, because at that point we're not allowed to express the emotion.
Right.
So we hold on to it, and because of that locks into place, and that could be thought of as trauma. So something very simple that may, and this is why maybe people might think, oh, I don't carry any trauma, I'm fine. But yet that incident of something being taken away from them, they carry into their business, into their relationships, and into all of that, and their entire how they deal with that relationship is based from those foundations.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that almost everything
is a trauma.
Could be trauma is usually something quite intense.
Yeah.
But there's mild forms.
Right.
So
that's interesting, because I never really thought about it in that way, that it could be anything really, but it's got different levels of it, of course.
Yeah, it depends on your definition, and it's there are speakers and people that say say, okay, almost everything could be a trauma. But then you've got to define what trauma is exactly. Yeah. So but I think it's very important to look at both sides always, the perpetrators and the victim. And you have to do that to get a full understanding and healing. Because if you only look at one side, then you don't really understand the true nature of what happened. And you take one side, and it's very easy if you were a victim and let's say you were abused when you were younger, it's all very easy to take only one side.
Yeah, it is. That's very true.
Yeah, but then also when that happens, you don't fully heal within yourself.
You have to look at.
So when you take one side, you also know that you haven't fully healed within yourself.
So you would have to look at the other side as well to get a more grounded view, I suppose, of everything.
Yeah.
The whole picture. They say that there's three sides to every story or every coin. You got the truth, the lie, and you got the bit in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to say good evening to our Facebook community. Good evening, those of you who are on Facebook this evening. Lovely to see you. Put your comments on the thread. Do not say good evening. Say good evening to whoever is on there. Let us have a conversation this evening. Good evening, DS. We can see you, and thank you for your wonderful comments as always. As always. So those of you who are on MediaNet Live TV, welcome. Those of you who are on Yvonne Michelle TV, welcome. Those of you who are on Facebook and in our Facebook community, good evening. How are you doing? So DS says, I think it also depends on individual sensitivity. Some people are very sensitive. Some are more resilient.
Yeah. It definitely does. I mean, it depends on, each individual's sort of manner and the way they are. Like myself, personally, I'm quite sensitive. Other people will experience maybe this certain events and they won't be so sensitive, and that's okay. But yeah, that's 100% right. It really depends on that.
What if you're not sensitive at all?
Well, then, I mean, it depends, because some people may be not sensitive because they've experienced, like, for example, often you'll get policemen who are very desensitized to incidents. And as a result, that, they can't fully express their emotions because they've learned through their job to just shut down. And as a result, the people that enter relationships with them could find it difficult, because when you shut down yourself from expressing, or being able to feel difficult emotions like sadness, then you also shut down a lot of the barrier works both ways. So yeah.
That kind of the whole, when you were talking, do you know what I saw? You know, I'm visual, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I see,
yeah.
yeah, to see. You know that there's that program. It's an animated. What's it called? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
The program for kids. Or
Yeah, it's for kids, and it's got a sadness. It's got joy. It's got anger. Oh, what's the film called? Somebody on there. Somebody knows. Somebody on our thread will know what I'm talking about. It's a Pixar or.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know the one. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
In a mind something. No.
Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It will come in the middle of the conversation. I'm just going to say it, and it'll be like random. Yeah. So this is Scott Garrett Headley. Good evening from across the pond, Inside Out. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
That's the one. I knew somebody would have it. That's it. And that is Who's that? Wellness. Something like that.
Wellness.
Wellness, Inside Out, the animated movie. That's the one where, with the emotions, they had the sadness, and then they had all of these things, and it would just all fall apart.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, I was like, oh, that's what, it's kind of like in my head, it's coming into place. So thank you guys for helping us out with the name of that show. Yeah, Inside Out. So, the show's not about R. Kelly, and it's not about that. But, I just thought, I wonder how people are actually feeling about that, because that's quite a big story, really. And I know that people have got their own opinions on him.
I think it'll bring up different things for different people. If you've gone through a similar experience, and it's rare, but you could have gone through something similar, it'll bring up a lot of memories. But even something like that, when, for example, if someone hasn't dealt with something in it and you have a memory coming up, it's an opportunity to let go. So, for example, and I think we've talked about this before, when you re-experience something and it's painful, it's an opportunity to let it go, because it's come from the unconscious into the conscious realm, and only when it's conscious can it be let go of.
Right.
So when it's unconscious, you don't even know it's there, and this is why a lot of people say, "Well, I don't have anything." So because they're not aware, because it's unconscious.
Yeah.
So for something like this, R. Kelly, it may bring up a lot of emotions for people, and if there's no projection and no blame or anger towards the situation, then what can happen is you can go within and just feel whatever is present and allow yourself to experience that. And in doing that, you can let go of whatever is triggered within you. And in doing that, you can also become more loving and more connected.
How do you know when you've let go? How do you know when you let go? You'll have a lighter feeling for a start. You won't have so much charge around an incident. So, for example, you may, again, we're talking about the R. Kelly thing as well. So you may, when you first hear about it, there may be a lot of anger coming up. And when you let go, then there'll be a lighter feeling. You'll be able to see the situation with more clarity, because when you're stuck in the anger, your vision is obscured. You're not seeing things clearly. You're projecting, you're blaming. But when you've let go, now all of a sudden you can perhaps see both sides. Right.
Whereas previously you weren't able to do that because of the anger. You'll probably side, with a victim. And that's understandable, because there's stuff coming up.
Okay.
But it's an opportunity to let go of that. It's a gift in a way. Whenever you are emotionally charged or triggered in any way about anything, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift, but we blame and we project, so we don't see that gift.
Right. So, guys, are we listening? Are we listening? Listen, you better get your notepads ready. Because the content, when Daniel drops, he drops it, and he just drops it like it's hot. Yeah. And so we have to be ready to take those notes and know that actually, it starts with us. it actually, everything that we go through, every healing, every process that we go through, it has to start with us first. And so, as Daniel's been saying, you know, whatever comes up, just let it come. And then when you've stopped the blaming and when you can see it from a full perspective, that's when you start to know that you've kind of started to let that go.
When you can when you can see something without a charge, you see it with clarity.
Yeah.
And the charge, the emotional charge, is telling you exactly what within you needs healing. And it's also telling you that your vision is slightly obscured. It's like, imagine you were to get these red glasses and then put them on. Your vision will be obscured by the glasses.
Yeah.
When you let go, the glasses are no longer red, they're clear.
Yeah.
So it's not, your vision isn't distorted. And now you can see clearly. You can see people clearly. You can see events more clearly. And in general, you're not so charged. I mean, this is, I still get charged. I still get charged by stuff. But then at some point, I go back to myself and realize, okay, you're in the charge. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to drop the blame and just feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that takes practice. It takes work, right?
It takes work and it takes will. And I think I mentioned this last time. The key is the will, the want to do this, the real, people that make sort of see huge dramatic changes in themselves are the ones that really want to. And often when people say they want to, they don't really want to. And that's okay. They're just not ready for it. That's fine.
And that's okay. I think it's that's okay part. It's like, well, why wouldn't you want to? Just do the work and, you'll be all right. But again, you
have to be ready.
You have to be ready.
Yeah. I pretended I wanted to for ages. Yeah. I went through a phase where I pretended I wanted to. But when you look deep enough, you realise you don't want to.
Yeah.
And okay.
That's fear though, isn't it? It's fear that would kind of prevent you from moving forward.
Yeah.
In that way.
And again, that's okay as well. That's because everything is has its perfect timing in a way. So you can't really force someone to do something they're not ready for, because then it doesn't come from the heart. It doesn't come from intuition. It doesn't come from the source. So they may end up going down that path, but they won't make any progress.
Right. And that's the thing, I think, even in how we are interacting and where we're going and what we're striving to do at the retreat is to help people to start where they're at. But actually, even if they take one step forward, it's going to shift. Yeah.
But they have to take that step.
That's right.
And sometimes you'll find, and you probably know this, sometimes you'll get a girlfriend or wife wanting to drag their husbands to this self-development event, and the husband doesn't really want to go. They're not ready for it. But the wives insist, and he's
because I know quite a few people who have done that.
But in situations like that, what's really powerful is, rather than drag the husband along, is go within oneself and look at the energy of the wanting. Where's that coming? What's that coming from? Because inevitably it's going to come from fear at some level. It will come, okay, so there's a fear that, if my husband or, girlfriend doesn't come to this, they're going to be exactly, then I've got to face my own feelings. So
listen, guys, make sure that you get your tickets and you make the decision. You make the decision, right? You make the decision that you want to come and learn and grow and evolve within yourself. We were talking a couple of weeks ago. I think I asked a question. I don't know if he was on the show when I asked why it seems that men don't come to events like this. It's only a handful of men.
I think when I first started coming to these kind of events, the self-development, personal growth seminars, there was, literally 95% females. Now that's shifted.
Yeah.
So it's still, let's say 70%, but there's a lot more men.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, definitely a lot more men now. But also there's a stigma associated with it. So you have to firstly, because men are meant to be strong. They're meant to be, individuals who can handle any situation. So, but now when the emotions are rising up, more and more men are being honest and truthful with what they're feeling inside, and especially with what's happening around the planet now. Basically, okay, I raise my hand up. I need to maybe to attend your retreat.
Yeah, that's right. I think
shamefully plugging your
plug it. Yeah, I think. But the thing is, I think in terms of progression, we all want to really, well, I say we all want to. There's lots of us who want to progress, and so, and we want to feel strong, and we want to have that mind where we can overcome anything. And these are why these events are good, because they actually, it's like plugging yourself into a socket and being a battery and getting charged up, and like having a bit more resilience, having a bit more vision of what you actually want to do, or why you're actually on this planet, why are you here.
I think it's important though that it's like books, events, they're not a substitute for the real work. For the going within and seeing, okay, what am I carrying, what do I have, what do I believe, what do I believe about my partner, and how does that affect our relationship, and actually doing the work. And going to events and reading certain books will help you to take that step and will act as a catalyst. But then it's easy to to become one of those people that just attends events and there's a name for it, I forgot what someone that just attends events and doesn't actually do serial
attendee.
I don't know. There's a word for it.
Why would you do that? Yeah. Why would you do that to yourself? Go to these events and then.
But when you go to events, there's a really good energy about them, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah. I remember going one of my first seminars that I went to was, I think, Anthony Robbins.
Oh, you went Unleash the Power Within? Did you do that? Yeah.
This was years back.
Yeah.
And that's when I was just getting started on my journey. And there was such an amazing energy around it.
Yeah.
He's an amazing speaker as well.
He is indeed.
And I remember going there and everyone's, he's doing the fire walking as well. It's like, but you begin to understand, because he lifts you up. He wants to sort of break through the programs that you may have carried for many lifetimes. Like, who knows? For a lifetime, let's say. And he wants you to break through that programming. So there's that huge energy. So that can be that addiction to that as well. And when that dies down, often there's a sense of loss as well. So anyone that's attended these events will know that. But that can be let go of as well.
This is it. So
everything can be let go of.
Let go of everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about some letting go. We may even have time to do a couple of red letters. We haven't done red letters for a little while. So if we do have time, Daniel and I will go through a couple of letters, and we can talk about just letting the writers know how to let go. Yeah,
and we can also, I know we mentioned this before the show started, but we could do like a little sort of example. Something very simple but very powerful that people can do to, help them with that letting go process. So.
Absolutely. So it's all about the After Dark talk show. Yes. So before we even go into doing the exercise, what I want you to do is share this on your social media. Absolutely. Or ring a friend and tell them it's on. Tell them to log in to YouTube so that they too can experience what we're talking about, and also the tools, the techniques, and the strategies that are going to come out of tonight's show. It's really, really important. This is a great moment. So we're going to do a little exercise. Well, Daniel is going to do a little exercise. a little bit later on in the show. So you've got time to tell people to log on. Come on, guys, get that out. And also you can show me some love as well. Those of you who are on Facebook, pretty up the screen. Come on, show some hearts, pretty it up a little, Winter's coming, Christmas is coming, all the lights are going to start coming out. So you might as well get used to prettying up the screen.
Exactly, yeah.
So Daniel, your expertise is letting go. And, when we were here the last time, we'd spoken a lot about some of the procedures and stuff that, you talk about, and the basis. You gave an example of somebody that you knew, a client with her son, and letting go of her parenting skills.
Yes.
One of the things, we've had quite a few letters from people about their children and how young people have changed, especially within this era of time we're living in, and how younger people are finding it difficult to manage emotionally. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to just have a little chat about the family dynamic.
Okay.
Because I know that lots of people have got their families and they need some help. And also, so we'll touch on that. But another thing I'd like to touch on is bereavement, actually, because that is another thing that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
And people have asked me, are you going to be dealing with bereavement at the retreat? And I said, unfortunately, I'm not. We can cover it a little bit, but not specifically.
Yeah, I think with regards to, letting go, anything can be let go of. So whatever feeling appears, you can, whether it's bereavement, or sadness, grief, sense of loss, that feeling can be stayed with as well, and can be stayed until it dies down. Because when it dies down, there'll be that sense of loss will start to not be as intense.
Okay.
So, but it means staying with that feeling. And I know we talked about it more on the previous show, and more with regards to, okay, so that feeling comes up, what do I do with it? I just stay with it without wanting it to go. Let go of wanting it to go. So and just allow it to be there, allow yourself to understand that it's a natural part of the process.
Right.
It's a natural part, grieving when you lose something is natural. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And I've had, and funny enough, I help people with their emotions, and I get clients come to me and they, sometimes we have a session and stuff comes up, grief comes up, and they apologize for crying.
Right, yeah.
And I understand why they apologize, because it's like a conditioned thing to do. Yeah. But we're so conditioned to see it as, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry for crying. Yeah. And I've done that myself as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. I am. I'm not crying. I'm not crying. You try to mask it. So that's that human.
It's natural. And what I was saying in the last show was that grief is the gateway to connection and love. So as we learn to feel our grief, we start to reconnect. So because grief is often experienced when there's a loss of something or someone. So as we feel that sense of grief and we allow that emotion to run its course, then we start to reconnect with people. We start to reconnect with others, and we start to view the oneness of life and of everything. So, for example, if I truly allow myself to grieve a relationship and allow all of those feelings to be processed, then I start to find that now I'm no longer distant from that person.
Right.
If we lose someone, for example, a relationship ends and we grieve, then as I let go of the sadness, the tears, then I start to reconnect at an energetic level with that person again.
Right.
And that could be, you don't even need to speak with them.
Okay. So you're reconnecting back with the person that you've lost, but you're not reconnecting with you?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's the same. You are reconnecting with yourself as well.
Right. Okay.
Because when you have grief and it's held within you, you're not truly experiencing yourself as you are. You're rejecting a part of yourself, which is the part that wants to grieve. So when you allow that process, then it could be that energy can be fully let go of, and you feel yourself when you let go of it, you're more authentically yourself,
right?
And you start to reconnect not just with that person you grieve, but with every single person again, because everything is all one.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just trying to pull it together. Yeah. So, guys, those of you who are listening, we've got a message. Those of you who are listening, today's show is all about connecting. It's all about how we let go of certain things. And I think everybody can relate to this. I think everybody has been in a situation where, they need to let go of something or other. That's and it's fine, it's good.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. But I want us to be open, to be frank, to be honest. And really, as we go through this show, I really want you to search yourself. This is a really good moment. And if you are here and you're watching the show, you are here for a reason. I always believe that, you hear things, you're a part of something because you're supposed to be. And there's a message, there's a learning, there's a teaching in it for you. And this show is all about learning. Yes, we have a bit of a laugh, but it is about learning fundamentally.
And, like George is saying there, I don't know if you can put that up on the screen. The purpose for being on this planet is to reconnect to your authentic self. And a lot of us aren't living these authentic lives. We're living lives based on our conditioning, on our parents, on what they want, and on our patterns. And when you start to dissolve these belief systems, these thought patterns, then you start to be able to be your authentic self, and the decisions that you make come from that place. And that's what true, that's the true sort of and come from intuition. And that's your true self. It's not based on your conditioning. Right.
Thank you for your comment, George Williams.
Very good comment.
Yeah, it is a good comment. Thank you very much. And we are here to reconnect. So we are gonna. Where are we? What are we on? Okay, cool. We're in good flow.
Yeah.
Good time. All right. Good flow. Good time. So, in terms of, because you just mentioned parents, and we wanted to touch on this.
Yeah.
In terms of, because I've had conversations with some parents, and it's, even within my own family, and it's that navigating. Whereas as a parent, we've got this roadmap for our children, maybe, and we have this roadmap, and we think they have to do this. But when they don't do this, then it becomes an issue between the parent and the child.
Yes.
And this could be a grown-up child, because one of the conversations I've had recently is that, a 27-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old, they're not children.
Yeah.
But they could be somebody's children.
Yeah.
Because, as a parent, no matter how old your child is, they're still going to be your children, right? And so you've got this adult person talking to their adult parent, but the parent has got an expectation of that person to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
How do you, as a parent, because that feeling of disappointment, I told my child not to do the thing, and now they've gone and done it, and blah, 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 blah. And there's that feeling of disappointment as a parent to the child. But then there's this other expectation from the child's perspective that you are the parent, so you're supposed to allow me, really. You're supposed to be with me and say, okay, I'm supporting you. So how do we let go of that mix up?
So okay,
That's
all right.
That's a lot in there, right? There's a lot
yeah.
to unpack, right?
Yeah, I have to think through that. But okay, so we're talking about the adult children, right? So we're
Adult
talking,
children, yeah. Let's leave the younger ones.
So ultimately, everyone is in your life to help you in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but how do they help you? So from the perspective I'm going to come from is that they trigger something in you. Okay, so for example, the adult parent may speak to the adult child and want them to do something, behave a certain way, or take responsibility for something. And the child doesn't want to do something. So what is triggered in the parent? Why is the parent wanting that? Yeah. Well, deep down reason within themselves, because whenever there's an expectation, and we touched on this again before, whenever there's an expectation, it always comes from a fear of some sort.
Yeah.
So whenever there's non-acceptance of the child or of the parent, it works both ways, then that comes from a feeling which doesn't want to be felt. Okay, yeah. A feeling which is painful to feel. So for example, when the child doesn't do what the parent asks, then the parent will have to be faced with a feeling that is unpleasant within themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And if it's a challenging feeling and they've avoided it all their lives, they're going to want to try and control the child to behave a certain way so they don't have to face that feeling. Okay. So what I say to my clients or to anyone that asks, or to you,
to me.
is let go of the need to control. Yeah, whether it's as a parent or as a child, let go of that need. And when you do that, you'll be faced with whatever feeling you've been running away from. So today I was speaking with someone and they want their child to obviously behave a certain way, do certain things. So allow the child to be authentically do what it wants to do. And you may find that child is late for school. So what does that bring up in the parents? It brings up fear, it brings up a sense of I'm not a good parent or whatever. As well, so as those feelings come up and they're felt and let go of, then the parent becomes more authentic, becomes more loving, becomes more connected, because these feelings that are stuck inside of us stop us from being loving, stop us from being connected. Right. And when we stop trying to control the child, then we allow ourselves to face these feelings. And when we, drop the blame, then we can follow that feeling to a point of completion and it dissolves. Now, all of a sudden, our words are listened to more. Right. We're heard more. Because what could be, one of the feelings could be is that no one listens to me. But that feeling of no one listens to me is covered up by the control. Right. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So when a parent tries to control a child, and the child doesn't want that, obviously, then and the parent tries harder, it's because they don't want to embrace perhaps this belief that no one listens to them. At first, it might be anger. The anger comes up initially, but when the anger dissolves, and that's why you need to drop the blame, then underneath that is the fear of no one listens to me. And as that is dissolved, the belief and the underlying emotion, now all of a sudden that parent no longer carries the feeling no one listens to me, or the belief no one listens to me, and the feeling that comes with it. Yeah. When that happens, now all of a sudden they have the belief people listen to me. Right. Yeah. So inevitably the child will then reflect that new belief back to the parent. So they will become more they will listen more. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah. So
it's a hard one, I think.
yeah,
I think
it's a hard one
Yeah.
because of the intensity of the emotion that is triggered within both people, both the parent and child.
Yeah.
Now, the child can't, an adult child can do this work if they're conscious enough.
Yeah.
Because often in this day and age, we're becoming more conscious. Often the adult children are beginning to understand what they're carrying or what they need to do. But the older parent doesn't really get that.
Right.
They're still acting from conditioned behavior and they're not seeing clearly. Some, not all, but often that's the case.
Yeah.
And in that case, whoever sees this, whoever's conscious of what's going on, has to do the work, because the person who's unconscious can't do the work, and you can't rely on them to do any work or to change or go to set or anything. So as soon as you notice what's going on, you go within yourself and say, okay, I need to let go. I need to change what's this. I need to feel these feelings.
What would you advise to, say, a family? So we've got this situation, hypothetically, but you've got the adult parent and the adult child, hammer and tongs. They're not hearing each other. They're not seeing each other. One wants it one way, one wants it the other, and it's a battle of wills. How would you kind of navigate and get in between that and kind of start to create that shift?
So again, it's the awareness that all this is happening to help you. That you have to be aware that, and you have to understand your part in this. So what is triggered within me? What comes up within me when, the person acts this way?
Okay.
How do I feel? And those are the feelings that, when felt, can be let go of. And it's also a will. Again, we talk about will. It's the will to want to change your perspective, to shift. But there's also a simple exercise that we can actually do it now, because we're
okay.
So
let's straight into it, and then we're going to go to some of the questions, some of the comments after.
Yeah. So let's do this with yourself. Yeah. So simple things. So think of a person in your life. You don't have to tell me who they are. Okay. Just think of a person.
Yeah.
Now think of something that you would like to change about them.
Oh. That's hilarious to me. Where do I start?
Right. Okay. Right. Only
no,
just do one. Think of something you'd like to change about them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, could you welcome all of the feelings, all of the emotions and thoughts and memories associated with that wanting to change them? Could you welcome it all?
Could I welcome it?
Yeah. Could you just welcome it?
Yeah, I can welcome it.
Okay. And could you just for now let go of wanting to change them? Just for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you just for now love and accept them, not because you want them to change, but because they are this way?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's, with some people are like, no.
Well, see, the thing is, and I'll tell you who it was. It was my grandson.
Okay.
So it's very easy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's very easy. Yeah. And that was just resilience. He's only 5.
Yeah.
So it's resilience muscles. He's building them. He's only 5, so he's building them. So probably he wasn't. Ask me again. Ask me again.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So bring up this person in your mind.
Yeah.
And now think of something about them that you'd like to change.
Yep.
Okay, that's quick.
Yeah, because I know now, you see.
Okay, now could you welcome all of associated feelings, emotions, and memories, sounds that come with that? Could you welcome it?
I can welcome it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, could you just for now let go of wanting to change them to change that aspect of themselves? Just for now, just for this moment.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. And could you just for now love and accept them for who they are? Not because you want them to change, but because they are that way. Just because that, just for now.
Just for now.
Just for now. You can go back to it later. But just for now, could you love and accept them for who they are because they are that way?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could.
Okay.
I could.
Okay, good.
You're like, okay, good. I could. I'm convincing myself. I'm saying I could. It's more of a convincing. I could, but there's a but.
Yes, that but is what you're holding on to.
Right. Okay.
Okay, that but is there. And so if there's a but, okay, let's ask the questions again.
Mm-hmm.
So bring up the person again.
Yeah.
And think of something else or the same thing that you'd like to change about them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, could you welcome all of the associated memories, the feelings, the thoughts that come with that?
Yeah, I could.
And could you now let go of wanting to change them just for now?
Yeah, I could do that.
And could you just for now let go of, or love and accept them for who they are? Not because you want them to change, but because they are that way.
There's still a but.
That's okay.
And can I explain not what the but is, but why there is a but? I think in my head.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of what this person would mean to me in terms of a relationship. So for me, could I let go? Could I do? I could, but I don't want.
You don't want to let go.
No, I don't. I don't want this. I don't want to. Because when I think of this person, I'm thinking of them in a way that they could be a potential partner. Could they?
Right.
Could they
okay,
be? Because
right.
remember, because I thought, let me do it this way because we've got a relationship retreat.
So do you want them to be a potential partner?
No, not from this question. It's like no.
Okay.
That's what the but is. I could let go.
Right.
But I don't want to be associated with that person in any romantic way.
Okay. All right. But ultimately, you can still let go of all of that. You can let go and become completely free of any sort of charged emotion around that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this is why we do this process.
Okay.
Just, you don't have to be, it's not about what's happening on the outside, it's what's happening on the inside within yourself.
Right.
So as long as there's a charge, you haven't fully let go at some level.
Mm-hmm. So if there is a but, you haven't let go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you can probably sense that within yourself, right?
Yeah. And I think it was doing this exercise was good to show the people who are watching, because a lot of the time when we're asked a question, we'll say, yeah, but.
Yeah.
And that's the part, it's the but for me, that's the part that I identify, right? Oh, so I need to let go of that.
Yeah. And also with this exercise, what you see is that often you say to people, have you let go of, say someone gets divorced, have you let go of your anger, or they think they've let go of all the anger towards their ex.
Yeah.
So then you ask, could you love and accept them completely for it? And then no. And you're like, well, you haven't let go, and that's okay. That's okay. The awareness is coming up. The awareness is coming up, and now you know that you still haven't let go.
Right.
And this is what's really important to show people that often when they say they have, then they haven't really. So let's do this. Let's do this same questions again, perhaps.
Right.
But asking these questions is also is really good on yourself.
Because it's that feeling that you feel it. You do feel it, guys. You do feel it. You do. This is not a make-up thing. We didn't plan it. This is really you feel. I felt like when I put my mind to a particular person, I could feel that. Could you love in this moment. And it's the words are really key in this
Yeah.
moment. So I'm like, oh, I can do it in this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, because tomorrow I'm going to go back to you.
Yeah, and it's that feeling.
Yeah.
And so you can really identify where you're holding on to things, because a lot of us, as you said, a lot of us are holding on to things that we don't even realize that we're holding on to.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a really powerful.
But let's do this again.
Okay.
But now
Mhm.
we're going to do it on yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So think of something about yourself that you would like to change.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And could you welcome all of the associated feelings, all of the memories, all of the image that come with this?
Yeah.
You just welcome it.
Mm-hmm.
And could you just for now let go of wanting to change this about yourself? Yeah.
Oh, Daniel. Oh.
Just for now, just for this moment.
Just for now.
Just for now. You can go back to wanting to change it later. Yeah?
All right, because you said I could check it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Could you, just for now, love and accept yourself because you are this way? Not because you want to change, but because you are this way. Could you do it?
Oh. That's that. Oh. And it's because there's a belief system here that I believe myself to be a certain way. Yeah. So now what you're asking me to do is go against.
Not go against, but
yeah,
just to show it, to show what's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to actually, could you, because it's a choice.
It is.
It's a choice. Could you let go as a choice? Could you, it all comes down to choice. When you go deeply enough, you'll see it's all a choice.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, okay. So yes, I can.
Yeah,
I can do it.
But it's I can do it. But for me, it's like, do I want to?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's why I was like, because I'm in my head, I'm questioning now, do you really want to do this? In my head, I'm having this conversation. Yeah. And it's like,
But that's a really good place to be. Do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Okay, that's fine. So now I understand now that it's been a choice.
Yeah.
And then at that, when you understand that it's a choice, then in the future you may choose otherwise. And that's very powerful.
It's very, very powerful. Very, 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 very powerful. It is. It is because now I'm questioning just that. And it's a really small thing, actually.
Yeah.
A part of a personality, do I want that to change? Could I accept myself if I'm Michelle? To how I know me to be. Yeah. Could I accept myself? Because I've never asked myself that question.
Yeah, and this is really important to understand, because often when you reject a part of yourself, and as a parent, you reject that part of yourself, and that same part in your child, you're going to reject as well. Because because the thing is, if you don't reject it, it will bring up the very feelings in you. It'll bring that up, so that's where the control comes in. So I have to control this person, so I don't have to face these feelings within myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really...
Yeah. That was actually really interesting to me. And I think I'll go back and I'll watch the show over again because I know what's in my mind, and it's only a really small change, but I'm questioning, could I accept myself? And the answer would be no. Yeah, it would be in this moment, but in another moment, but in this moment, you're saying just in this moment.
Yeah, but could you? It's really an invitation.
It is.
Could you do it? Yeah.
And you're putting the onus back on.
Yeah. Could
me.
You do it? And you could do it.
Yeah. But do you want to do it?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so we have a choice in terms of how we are with ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we are with ourselves, how we see other people, and how we interact with them. We have a choice in everything.
It is a choice, but sometimes it feels like it's not. it feels like things happen, and they happen so fleetingly quick that we don't even notice it's a choice. It's just a habitual response, and we don't notice it.
Is that because we have an expectation built up in us of whatever that might be?
I think it's because it's like a program, an ongoing running program that we've never bothered to question. We've never bothered to examine the program. The program that if the weather is sunny, I'm going to be happy. If it's raining, I'm going to be sad. And then you don't notice that program runs, but you don't notice the program. So when it's sunny, you're happy, and when it's raining, you're sad. But you don't notice the program, the belief that you've created, because it runs so quickly.
Wow.
That, and then you think the weather makes you happy, or the weather makes you sad, but it doesn't. The weather's just the weather.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Yeah, I tell you, we mentioned that film earlier on in the show.
Yeah.
But
Inside Out.
Again, it's like.
Yeah.
When you watch the film, you've got all these different components of what makes you happy and all of these things. It's right there. It's so everything what I'm basically saying is everything you're saying. I'm like, yeah.
When you notice it, when you see what's happening within yourself, then you're like, oh wow, okay, and that's when that's when the light bulbs come on.
Yeah.
And then you see people's responses to you. You see how you respond to others, and also a way where you can respond more consciously and more lovingly, more connected.
So when you do this work, you are more connected with you. You're more grounded, so you actually know who you are on a different level. It's like you know who you are.
It can. I say when you do this work on a consistent basis, then. When you do any work along these lines, then you start to know who you are. And when you know who you are, then you know others as well. And you can see why people behave the way they do and what they carry as well. I remember when I let go of this huge layer of fear within me, then I noticed also how much fear everyone else was carrying. So when you let go of that within yourself, then you start to see everyone else is carrying the same thing. They're just not aware of it. And you see, oh my God, there's just, everyone's actions come from fear. Like all anger, for example, comes from fear at the core level. Yeah,
absolutely.
But people don't notice that.
Right.
When I responded to a Facebook post, the other day or the other week it was, and I mentioned that all anger is fear-based. When you go down deep enough, you discover it's all fear-based.
At its root, it is.
But a lot of people didn't see that, and they were like, "No, you're wrong." I'm like, okay, I can't argue with that, but yeah.
But it's true. At the core level, it is fear.
Yeah. I mean, the deeper you go, you'll start to uncover there will be a fear there somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it may not be the first level. It may be, there may be sadness or, but
as you go down, you will come up. Yeah, absolutely. I actually believe that, not because I do letting go, but in terms of what NLP and the things that I do, it's all root based. So you go to the root. What is the real issue here? And normally you can see that there's a fear.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Yeah. Right, we're going to go to some of the comments. Let's go down a little bit. We're going to go up a bit. And we're going to go to Tracy Young. That's it. That's where we're going to go. Tracy Young says, what advice would you give someone who has had childhood trauma and in their adult life they are angry about it and can't move forward from that? How do they let go to heal?
Again, you have to have a want to let go. That's the key thing. That's the most. Do you really want to let go? Because often people say they want to let go, and yet they're still stuck in the stories. They're like, no, but he's done it. and that's okay. That's where people are at.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you have to really want to, and if you want to, then you have to be wary of the stories that you tell yourself about what happened,
Yes.
and set a firm intention that no matter what, you will drop the stories.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, I'm no longer gonna think angry thoughts about that person. I'm gonna drop the stories, and I'm just gonna feel whatever emotion comes up unconditionally without the story. So the anger may still be there. Okay, let me feel that anger without blame, because what could have happened, and this is we're going to go a bit spiritual and a bit maybe outside of people's belief systems, is that childhood trauma may have happened to help the child heal from past life trauma that was unresolved. Now, not everyone is going to believe that, and that's okay. But if you take that step, if you have that understanding that could be possible, then everything is happening to help us. So the child may have attracted that scenario into its experience at the soul level in order to heal past life trauma.
Right.
Yeah. And as an adult, then they grew up as an adult and they became conscious enough. And therefore now, okay, let me drop the story and now just feel this emotion, feel the rawness of it. And in doing that without blame, you can allow it to move to that point of completion, and it can leave and be integrated and let go of.
Right.
And that is really powerful. But again, it's you don't have to, believe everything that, and you've got to just find out for yourself.
Yeah.
But when you blame, you cannot heal. So you have to drop that.
You have to let that
And
go.
for that, you need that want.
Yeah.
Do I truly want to let go? And if you do, then you will. And
then once you let go, you will begin the healing process, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it may be also that you want to there's 90% of you wants to hold on, 10% wants you to let go. The more you let go, 15% wants you to, let go, 85% wants you to hold on. But the more you heal, the more you want to let go.
To let go. So I hope that helped, Tracy. For me, as I like to say, for me, and I wouldn't call it letting go, but something that I went through personally a few years ago is I actually took responsibility for everything that had happened to me.
Yeah,
absolutely. And when I say responsibility, because someone asked me about it a couple of years ago, they were like, "How can you say that?" kind of thing. And I was saying I took responsibility of how I dealt with it, how I felt about it, how I saw myself through the process. Because this is talking about something. This is a childhood trauma. Yeah. So when I went back, I had to go back in my mind's eye and look at how I dealt with it as Yvonne, as an 11-year-old, as a 12-year-old, as a 13-year-old, as a 14. So how I dealt with it, what were the types of things I did, what were the types of things I said to me.
Yeah.
And so I took responsibility for all of that. And that was my way of letting it go and healing, because I was like, it was my decision to act like that, even though I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So as my adult self, I gave back to my childhood self to say, you didn't know any better, but how you handled it was how you chose to handle it at that time.
Yeah.
And it worked for you then. But that's
extremely important.
Yeah.
That taking, and I think as you go along the journey, you will start to take more and more responsibility. Yeah. So again, 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%. And eventually at some point it will be 100% responsibility. But people may not be there yet, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine, It's, that's
in their time.
Yeah. You have to understand that when people are ready.
Right. Tracy said, yes, it did. Thank you. Oh, we've gone over time. We need to put to bring in our advert. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to the advert and we'll be back right after this. Welcome to Yvonne Michelle's exclusive R Retreat, happening on Saturday the 30th of October 2021, located at the Holiday Inn Hotel, Kensington High Street, London. Now, you may be single and you may want to meet the person of your dreams. You may even be in a relationship and want to add some spice, improve your communication skills within your partnership. Well, this retreat has been specifically designed to help you improve your relationship and personal development status and empower you to rebuild a healthy, more vibrant relationship with yourself and others. So with a choice of a one-day package or an overnight stay, you will have full use of the hotel's spa facilities and have an amazing experience. So book today, do not delay. Hey, and we're back. We was there in a big conversation through the break. But we welcome you back. Those of you who are on Facebook, those of you on YouTube, those of you on Media Net Live TV, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're just joining us, we have Daniel. Daniel, pronounce your surname for me.
Dzikowski.
Dzikowski. I was too scared to say, Daniel, we've got Daniel. Didn't want to do the name. Dzikowski. Right. So we're talking about letting go. This is our part 2. Daniel's been on the show before and is back by popular demand. So we were talking, we just finished answering a question from Tracy Young, but there was another comment that we wanted to go to. I think it was George. Oh, okay. Hold on. We've got a Facebook user. How can one heal from something they can't talk about?
Yeah, go into the feeling again.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I do my sessions, I often say, what would you like to work on? Mm-hmm. And they don't need to tell me. Yeah. They just have to feel their reaction, what is present now. Mm-hmm. So, okay, how do I still feel about that person? Okay. And all of a sudden, when you picture that person in your mind, there's a tension here, for example. Mm-hmm. And you can feel that. Okay, so let me just stay with that without the blame. Again, really important. You have to drop that. Drop the blame. Yeah. Facebook user, how can one heal from something they can't talk about? Just feel. Just feel it. That's it. You just feel without the story. Mm-hmm. And then when the feeling comes up, often the mind will start talking again. Right. Yeah, and it'll start talking, and you're like, okay, let me take my awareness away from the mind chatter, because often it's easy to go down that spiral, mm-hmm. and just feel the pure resonance of the feeling, the raw feeling. Okay, so even though the mind's going, when you shut it down, it will often, when it first. The mind starts speaking. It comes from the unconscious to conscious, and you're not even aware of it. You're mm-hmm. going into a story. Yeah. The more times you notice it, the less it does that. The more times you're aware of it and go into the feeling. Right. You go into the present moments. Presence. The present moment, how you're feeling now. Yeah, right now. Right. Without judgment, and but the mind will come back again, and it's easy at that point then to go into the story where how you have a conversation with someone in your head, or you imagine yourself telling them the person in your head so you don't have that, because that's a conscious choice at some level to do that. So I'm not going to add energy to that. I'm just go into the realm of feeling. So even though I can't speak about it, I'm just going to be completely honest with myself, how I feel, and just go in and just stay with it. Right. And again, how can one heal from something they can't talk about? It depends on what it is as well, but do that exercise that we did. Yeah, I have another version similar to that exercise where it goes more in depth in certain aspects about control, approval, security. So in that that we can do. We're going to be doing on the retreat as well as part of a workshop.
Yeah.
So something simple as that, like asking those questions and getting yourself to, and then you'll see, do I really want to heal? Do I really want to let go? Because when you're asked to love someone that hurt you, then you can see it, and it's you can see if you're ready or not.
This is real powerful stuff, and it's nothing outside of you. It's all about the internal.
It's all within you, because you can't control anything outside of you. You can't control how people act, what they say to you. You can only control your emotions and your thoughts. And sometimes they seem that they're not controllable, but that's just habitual. It's just a choice.
Right. Okay, so first what you says, what if you get your strength from holding one to the hurt and pain?
I think at some point that is a perceptual illusion that you get strength from that, because when you let go, if what they're saying is you're holding on to hurt and pain, then you get your strength from that. So I think
holding on.
Strength from holding on to the hurt and pain. So I think that's just a perceptual illusion that you get your strength from that. And when you let go, then you'll see how much strength you have then. But once you're holding on, it may seem that you're strong from it, but it does actually weaken you, because you're holding on to
negative energy, isn't it?
Negative emotions. So, and what we mentioned before was it's like pushing a balloon underwater. It requires energy to do that. And when you let the emotion rise up, the energy of the emotion is given back to you, plus the energy you used to push it down with. So you get more strength then. But it's a strength from a different place. It's a strength from love, from connection. So it's important to see that the true strength is when you let go.
Because we gravitate, we say that we gravitate to either pain or pleasure. And if you're gravitating to pain, what pain is telling you to do is pay attention inward now. PAIN. Yolandi Van Sant. Pay attention inward now. So if you're gravitating to the pain, then the pain is actually telling you to pay attention to what's going on inside of you.
And that's the same whether it's emotional pain, whether it's physical pain. And physical pain is literally just emotional pain which has been ignored and has manifested in the physical realm. So, and often when you let go of an underlying emotion, then the physical pain will disappear. And same with disease and illness. So at some level, disease and illness occurs because there's something underlying that hasn't been dealt with at the emotional level. So as you start to resolve those emotions, the beliefs, that energy, then your disease starts to disappear and to be, to resolve itself. That lesson no longer needs to be learned. It doesn't, disease isn't asking you to look inwards anymore because it's been,
Right. I hope that Facebook user, I hope that helps. If you would like to, I would like to invite you to the retreat, because you'll see Daniel in his full element doing, because you've got something else, haven't you? You've got a bit of a treat as well that would help.
We what we're going to be doing is getting, well, if anyone that wants to, then we can measure their energy levels. So we're energetic beings. So we'll measure their energy levels indirectly through light. And what we'll do is people will, it's a device where you put your fingers in. Because the fingers in your hand correspond to different parts of your body. Through the Chinese meridian system. So through measuring the light output through the fingers, is using a technique called Carillion photography,
Okay.
where we will be able to then look at their energetic body and see how aligned it is and what perhaps needs to be addressed. And for example, if someone has a problem with the kidneys or something that that hasn't yet manifested physically, but is in the energetic body, then you can pick this up.
You can pick it up.
Yeah. So we will use this, and it's kind of sort of bridges the gap between science and spirituality.
Right.
Science and sort of the inner healing aspect, which, you know, because a lot of people, you know, don't yet believe in, let's say, for example, auras or chakras, and we're going to, you know, we're going to help people connect the two. So let's, you know, measure our energetic body or our light body and see exactly, you know, there could be something, you know, with your heart, with knees, you know, different.
I've got a tickle in my throat.
You had that last time.
It's you, isn't it? It's you tickling me, Daniel. Oh dear. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. So anyone that wants to, I think, we can just get people to measure the parts of them, their fingers, and that will see how the entire energetic body is.
So if you want to experience that, come down to the R retreat, 30th of October, and we're going to be at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Kensington High Street, London. Gosh, I don't even have the voices all over the place. So Facebook user says, if one is emotionally blocked, how does one feel?
How do you feel? So I think it's really important to, even a non-feeling is a feeling. I think, again, we touched this before, where even the feeling of numbness, of blankness, can be felt.
Yeah.
Can be let go of. So as that happens, you'll find that then this whole Pandora's box of emotions may rise up. But often, again, you know, okay, let me feel this numbness, this I don't even feel, but everyone's feeling. I've had people that have said to me, I don't feel anything, and then two sentences later, they were like, I got so angry by that person, you know, or like, you know, I'm still angry at this. And we are always feeling at some level everything. Actually, we feel everything at some point. So everything we've ever suppressed is with us now. But we just have to quieten our minds. And often when we go into the realm of, when we go into meditation and we just still our minds, then we start to feel things.
Starts to bubble up.
Yeah, so we can just sit with what is without wanting to change anything and just see what happens.
See what happens and see how you feel.
Yeah.
So even being emotionally blocked, even in the nothingness, there is a feeling. But what I would say to you is it would be good for you. I don't know who you are because it's Facebook user. You know who you are. You're probably in the After Dark group. But I would say to you, I would invite you to come to the R retreat and spend some time in Daniel's workshop and see what comes up for you.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk to everyone there. You know, even just, you know, if we can find a one-on-one place, and you know, it's great just to, you know, connect with people. And
definitely, we're going to have lunch as well.
Yeah.
So on your ticket, I should say, on your ticket, once you go into the website and you click on the one day, you can stay overnight if you want to, but if you do the 1 day ticket, that does include lunch. So we will all be together for the day. So you'll be able to speak with all of the speakers and get a sense of the workshops that they're doing. And I do want to say that this retreat is not about you sitting and people talking at you. This is an interactive, there's going to be interactive workshops throughout the day. So you're going to need a pen, you're going to need a paper, a bottle of water, and you're going to need to pay attention, because the guys who are speaking, the guys who are coming, they're not just speakers, they are facilitators. And so they're going to be facilitating workshops to help you. So you're going to leave feeling like you've actually been through something, gone through something, and learned something through that day. So I just want to encourage you, those of you who are on the Facebook, those of you who are on MediaNet, those of you who are on YouTube, come to the retreat. It will be worth every single penny. We've got the best experts. You've listened to Daniel talk. Daniel's been here before, and many people have contacted me in terms of the service that Daniel provides in letting go, because many of us are holding on to bags of rubbish, and we're just walking around with these invisible bags like this.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm all right. I do, yeah, I'm good. But actually, you're not. And now it's about, you've got an opportunity that you may not have this again. This is an opportunity for you to, like, you know what? Let me just let it go. Let me learn how to do this. This is a tool that you can have and use throughout the rest of your life.
Yeah. But in a way, sometimes it's even if we are carrying these bags and this, it's perfect just the way it is. And understanding that will mean that we can let go easier. Understanding that this is all like sort of divinely orchestrated.
Yeah.
I can't even say the word for it.
Yeah.
Understanding that will enable us to just allow things to be the way they are, which will help with just letting go.
Yeah.
But resisting it will have us push back against it.
Right. And I think it's that part of it that's the challenging part of it, the part where you push your ordinary, because it's innate in us as humans to try and push back, but actually just sit with it.
Yeah.
Just sit with it.
Yeah, and that's okay. And you know, we just allow things to be without wanting to change. Let go of a want to change.
Wow, I think it's amazing stuff. If we can go back to George's comment, I think there's a big one there. I don't know if we've passed this. If you can lift that side up for me. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Right. So I think at a point, the adult needs to come to terms that the child has grown and is no longer a child. Oh, yeah, because we were talking about the adult and the adult child. The relationship should have evolved and be mature, but unfortunately, people have a tendency to attach themselves to past hurts, which plays back at any given situation. Therefore, the two adults need to visit the past to resolve the future.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's quite normal for that to happen, isn't it? So they can revisit the past to resolve the future. Definitely, you know, just having a conversation and being open and honest without blame would definitely help. But it's very rare that both parties can actually do that at the same time. Often, you know, someone has to take the step to be open, to be honest, to be vulnerable. So in that respect, just the basic, you know, communication. But again, if the emotional energy hasn't been resolved, that's still present, it's going to be harder, because then the adults are going to respond from that foundation of that emotion.
Yeah.
And again, that's what happens. But to know that, to see that, and to, okay, let me let go of blame. Let me just feel what comes up.
Yeah.
And then when that dissolves, now I can speak with, you know,
my adult child.
I can speak with them from a more calmer state.
Yeah.
And they will respond in, respond to our changed energy level.
Yeah. I think the energy level is really important, because as an adult with adult children, I can relate to this really well, and know that for in my own learning, I have had to really question, well, what is that about? Why do you, Yvonne, feel that it should be that way? Why do you feel that?
Yeah.
Because they are grown, they are adults, and I think sometimes there's an adjustment sometimes. I mean, I've got 3 adult children, so I'm talking about the first one who became an adult.
Yeah.
So I've had that experience. So with the other 2, I didn't go through the same thing, because I'd learned by the first one of my children becoming an adult.
Yeah.
And it was very much seeing them as an adult and not as a child.
Yeah.
And that was the shift for me, is recognizing, asking myself, what is that about really? Do you want to control them? Because you have to ask yourself that question if you're in that position where you're saying, no, it's wrong, you need to do it this way, blah, blah, blah. What is that about? Because
it would be a fear within you, right?
Yeah, it's the fear of whatever the outcome will be. Yeah. But I want to control it for whatever reason that is. Yeah. I just want to, but actually, once I recognise that was part of me wanting to control, and recognising also that that's my son, but he is a man and he is an adult and he has the right to choose and make his own decisions. Then for me, it was like, okay, so this fear of I'm not going to be needed as a mum anymore, how he would rely on me as mum, wanting my opinion and everything. Actually, you don't need that because he's grown. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So that fear of, that's my baby, that I've got to help him. I had to really question myself. So I kind of get that, and I get, what George was saying. But I think, once you get to that place and you realise they're grown.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also if you deal with emotional energy underpinning all of this, the fear, then you'll have no need to control. You'll trust them. And as you deal with what's inside of you, the fear will be passed on. The integration of fear will be passed on. So as you let go of your fear, that will be passed on to your children, to your adult children. So, and I found this with my daughter, as I let go of my fears, she let go of hers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. So, for example, if you're a parent and you see your child getting bullied, as you let go of whatever comes up in you, experiencing that incident, your child will then start to change in response and be less likely to attract that situation to their life. And that is really interesting.
That one is.
Yeah, because there's an energetic connection that happens. So, and people are like, no, that's crazy. And often, I had someone approach me the other day with something around their child, and they wanted me to work with their child, and I said no.
Right.
Yeah, child. I said no. The work has to be done with you. You approached me, so whatever fear is within you has to be addressed first. Yeah, and then if once you've let go of all your fears, whatever's coming up around your child behaving this way or acting this way, once that's addressed within you and you've truly let go, let's see what happens then.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm almost 100% convinced what would have happened. She thought to myself, no, that you need to speak to my child, not to me.
Right.
Yeah, and this is often a really big thing with parents, that no, it's my child that needs help, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. If you change your mind at some point, we can go through this, we can work on this. but at the energetic level, because we're all one, and because there's an emotional transference that happens from the parent to the child, as that is resolved within the parent, it's also resolved within the child.
That makes
and this is the thing that this is, it's a bit spiritual. It's not commonplace to think like this.
DS says yes, absolutely, to heal the child, cure the parent. Boom, absolutely. So shall we bring in a letter? What do you reckon, David?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, so I got it on my phone, so I'm going to read it out. Oh dear, I think something's going on with my glasses, so I need to just give them a little bit of a wipe because I can't see. Okay, I can work with those. Right, so okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so dear Yvonne and panel, it says, I am a 47-year-old woman. I have 3 children. I own my own home and I am single. I'm not with the father of my children because we had a turbulent relationship. Now I find myself dating, but I am not happy with my dating life. I would like a permanent partner or boyfriend in my life, but I find that the relationships I have are more like friends with benefits and nothing more. I would like to be in a relationship, but when the chance arises, I always find an excuse, even though I'm not happy with the situationship. I always find myself in the wrong place. What am I doing wrong? Can you help?
Okay, so firstly, I don't think there's anything the lady's doing wrong. So often we feel that the choices we make are wrong, but the choices we make are exactly the choices we need to make to bring up the very emotions that needs to be integrated, to be let go of.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So ultimately, if this woman is finding herself in a relationship and it's bringing up certain feelings, then those are the feelings that need integration, that need to be let go of.
Right.
Yeah, and for that to happen, again, you have to drop the blame, because it could be that the current partner is acting a certain way, or doing certain things that the lady doesn't want. That it's bringing up stuff for her. Okay. So you have to drop the blame and to feel whatever comes up. And as that happens, the feeling is let go of. So when it's let go of, then she will no longer attract that situation. That person will either change or leave her life. So persons, persons.
So if she's, because she says she's like doing well for herself, it appears that she's doing well for herself. Previous relationship was turbulent. And now she finds she wants a relationship. She says she wants a relationship, but she's finding herself in a situationship, like that kind of relationship, friends with benefit. But she doesn't want that. She wants to be in a permanent relationship.
Okay. So you go on.
So my question is that a matter of she's saying one thing, but her energy is actually saying something completely different to what is that the case?
Yeah, so there'll be a wanting from her. So, but at the soul level, if she hasn't fully healed, or there needs to be healing to happen in order to get that person then she's going to attract the person she needs to give her that healing, to make conscious what is unconscious,
Right.
so that she can let it go. Once she lets it go, then she will attract that person that she truly wants.
Right.
Because wanting actually comes from a lack. When you want something, it's because you don't have it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that energy of lack, yeah, which again is ultimately it's an illusion, because at some level, at the deepest level, we have everything we need, but we believe we don't, and that's the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So that she attracts exactly the person she needs. When she looks within and lets go,
Mm-hmm.
then she will attract someone different.
Right.
Yeah. But at the moment, she needs to attract that type of person to bring up the very feelings that need resolving
within her.
Yeah.
Right.
The same way as a parent, a child behaves a certain way to bring up certain emotions within us. Once they've healed and we've let go, then the child will shift its behavior in response to our new energy.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah. And yeah.
So when she's going back into herself and letting go with this person that she has attracted, right?
Yeah.
The friends with benefit, but she thinks she doesn't want that, but
Yeah.
that's what she's attracting. Could it be that the reason why she's attracting that type of person is because of the value that she has on herself?
Yeah, at some level that will be the case.
Okay.
And it could be that she's carrying an unconscious belief system that she's not aware of, and which attracts that kind of person. So it could be like, maybe people don't treat me well.
Okay.
Something as simple as that, or people take advantage of me, or something. I don't know, or it depends. It's different for every person. So she could be carrying that in the energy, the emotion that is locked together by that belief system.
Yeah.
Once that's let go of, then now she feels different. She no longer carries that, and the universe will reflect that.
Okay. That's thank you for that. Thank you for that. I hope I'm not sure if a person will be watching tonight or will be on the catch up, but I hope that helps that question. I have another one we could do real quickly.
Okay.
This one was interesting to me. I think you're going to find this one interesting. She says, so, hi, Yvonne. This is titled, I'm Not His Type.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So, hi, Yvonne. Need some help. I am not his type. I am not his type because the girls he says he likes do not look like me, but I'm desperately in love with him. He doesn't see me, he doesn't see me. He doesn't notice me because maybe it's because he's 26 and my manager at work. But I think we would make a great couple, although I am 42 and he's a lot younger. He comes across very mature for his age and is someone I'd like to spend the rest of my life with. We've worked together for some time now, and every day I like him more. When he's not in the office, I have withdrawal symptoms. I'm excited and nervous to hear the advice that you and the panel can give me, as this has been my biggest secret for a long time. However, I do suspect that some people at work may know that I like him because they keep making jokes about me being his stalker. What can I do to be noticed by him? Do you think I should tell him how I feel?
I know what I would do.
What would you do?
And ultimately, I would get in touch with whatever stuff comes up within me. So if it's a feeling of rejection, because it seems like there's an energy of rejection there. Let myself feel that without, placing conditions on what I'm meant to feel, what I'm meant to do with it, and just feel that. Fully until it dissolves, again, without blaming anyone for it. Because we want to get to the point where we are not charged by the situation, or we're desperate, because there's a clinging there.
You can even from the terminologies, I'm desperate.
So there's a want, and that want comes from lack. So that needs to be felt so it can be dissolved.
Right. I tell you what, Daniel. Oh, that a penny just dropped for me in the retreat. That workshop. It's for those people who feel that, because there's a lot of people who want to be in a relationship. And that want, as you said, comes from lack. So that emotion.
Would you rather want to be in a great relationship, or would you rather be in a great relationship?
Be in a relationship. Absolutely.
So, you have to let go of that want.
Wow. That penny, it just dropped. Like, you've got to let go of the want.
It's really important to do that. Wow. It always comes from that place.
Are you getting this, ladies and gentlemen? Are you getting this? You've got to stop the wanting. And I know that there are many on in the group, on MediaNet, on all the social media platforms. There are so many people who are single, because I hear from them every day. That's a game changer,
When
dropping that want. It is, seriously, dropping that want, because it's I don't know if you've ever heard a person say, I don't like them, they're too needy. I don't need. But that's what a want is, isn't it? It's like,
it's a want carried up to another level. Where you desperately, because there's a part of you that feels very insecure within yourself. And this is normal. It's not, we all want stuff.
Yeah, we do.
But as long as you understand it comes from a place of lack, and there's something within yourself. So
address that.
And you can't really get someone to like you.
No.
And whenever you try, it's going to go the other way, because you're going to come across, so you've got to get to a state where you're comfortable completely with a place of not having, where you're completely okay with it comes, and you're okay if it doesn't. You're completely fine either way, and you work on yourself, your inner self, until you get to that place. And then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that person comes into your life. It doesn't matter if they don't come into your life, because you've worked on yourself. You've let go of all the reasons of behind the want that lacks. Is that?
Yeah, that makes it. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. I'm just, wondering. I'm just hoping that this young lady, who, because she said he doesn't notice her. He doesn't see her, doesn't notice her, really, in the office. But she thinks that they would make a great couple, and he's mature for his age. And again, I can hear the want in this, because she says when he's not in the office, she has withdrawal symptoms. So.
And he might be a really lovely guy, really genuine, and women like men that are like that, and there is that desire to have someone like that in your life.
Yeah, she's 42 though.
The thing, what I would do is, and this is any age, it doesn't matter what age, is if you like someone, or you really want someone, then just allow yourself to feel what's behind that. Where does that come from? Because as you let go of what's behind that, then that want will disappear. And it may be that now you will know that you have that person, and you feel like, oh, comfortable, it doesn't matter. You know, I know, and now I'm so confident in myself that I know. Well, then you'll think, well, no, actually, that want came from a different place, and that's I realize that's not the type of person I need.
Yeah.
But you can only see that when you let go of those charged emotions that come from that want, that sort of that feeling of needed, or maybe neediness. I don't know if it's neediness, but it could be that, you know, that feeling of, you know, desperate. You want someone desperately.
Yeah. Well, she mentions the word desperately.
Yeah.
I'm desperately in love with him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So again, the other point is to allow yourself to feel that, because that desperately doesn't sound like it's pleasant. You know, when you're desperate for something, imagine when you don't get it, all of a sudden, now your heart is broken, and then you have to, and sometimes people need to experience that. And that's what happens. Life brings us someone that breaks our hearts. If we can, you know, allow ourselves to feel that consciously, then we can be in a better place. And then life may bring us someone else who's more suited for us.
Yeah. So to answer the question that she's asking, she's saying, what can I do to be noticed by him? And do you think I should tell him how I feel?
I think, what can I do to be noticed by him? That's the thing. It's tricky. It's
subjective, really.
Be yourself.
I don't know. Yeah, just be you.
Yeah, be yourself. Be who you are. But in order to do that, letting go is, you know, that will be your authentic you.
Yeah, I think there's not much to go by in this letter, but one of the things she started off by saying for me is that that she's not his type, and because the girls he says he likes do not look like her.
Yeah.
So I think that in terms of what can she do for him to notice her, the only thing she can do is be herself.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't notice her, then he doesn't notice her.
I always believe if it gets to a stage where someone is truly comfortable with who they are, and they've let go of a baggage, then they will resonate a sort of an energy which everyone is attracted to. But that's a very high level. When you've let go of your stuff, you will just resonate. People want to be around you. You know, you just attract. People will be attracted to you.
If you're resonating a high energy, high frequency, people are normally attracted to you.
But it can't be forced. It can't, you know, it's you know, you've got to be completely authentic.
Yeah. I would say, in terms of, hold on, we've got a message here. Let's see what one of the thread says. Good evening. Maybe she needs to seek a more engaging job, so regardless of his presence, she won't have time to miss him so much when he's not there.
You could do that, but at the same time, then you're missing the lessons that the feeling is bringing you. Okay, when you distract yourself with something external to you, then the reason this was brought into your experience was to show you something. You know,
or for you to learn from that.
Yeah, can you imagine you love someone and they just don't notice you?
Yeah.
What is that bringing up in you?
Yeah, that must
why
be
have I attracted that situation in the first place in this way? That must be bringing up stuff to be healed. But yes, you could get a job, and often some people would say, "Oh, I can't. I have to get a job now. I got to get a different job. I got to do something else." But then now, what's going to happen is they're going to attract another situation with something similar or different, which will trigger the same energy within them. So you know, eventually, okay, look, here's another look. I'm showing you what needs to be, you know, brought up. You know, it's bringing this stuff up. Are you going to have a look at it yet? No, you're not. Let me bring something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think she should tell him how she feels?
I would first go to the place where I have let go and then make that choice.
Right.
Yeah, make that choice not from a place where you're not balanced. You want to be completely balanced, where you are okay with having him and not having it, or not having him, and then make that choice.
Okay. So if you are watching and you know who you are, Daniel has given you his advice. I would second what Daniel said. I would do the work first. I would really take some time and look at me and do that work.
Because this is an amazing opportunity for her to do that. And she may find after she lets go, then, okay, she's in a completely different place.
Yeah.
Now she may attract someone who's, you know, more her age, let's say, for example, that could actually be there for a longer time, or you know, that is similar to a person with the younger guy's energy.
Yeah.
But now,
and again, you've got to remember as well, he's a manager as well.
Yes.
So, you know, there's that kind of, he's my boss. You know, that kind of thing. And he's a young guy, but he, you know, he's doing up half her age, but like, you know, he's my boss kind of thing.
Yeah. There is that. That. So,
you know, women like powerful men, and she might see him, his position, that he's in a position of power because he's the manager, so that makes him more attractive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because if he doesn't know it, my thing is, I'm very much common sense. If he doesn't notice her, he doesn't see her, you know, and she's in the office, people at work have suspected that, and they make jokes about her being a stalker. So that makes, you know, I'm like, what's your behavior like at work? That's what I'm thinking, to make people say that, even in jest, because many a true thing said in jest. And just, you know, it comes across like she's not confident because she talks about the women that he's attracted to don't look like her, kind of thing. So I'm saying I agree with absolutely everything that you said. And I think that if I didn't know about the letting go thing and how that works, I would say her self-esteem is quite low here. And that she's not seeing herself for who she really is from what she said, reading in between the lines, and that it would be a good idea for her to take some time for herself and get to know herself a bit better. And then once she knows herself, what she actually really wants, and, you know, then she, you know, if she still felt the same way, then by all means.
Then you can be open. But again, you've got to have gone through that where you're completely relaxed and in a place of balance. When she's in that place, then she can make a really clear-headed decision.
Okay, thank you for that, Daniel. So we've had two of our, oh gosh, I've got time. We've had 2 letters. That was really quick. Do you know what? We've got to have you back. That was really quick. Actually, sometimes we're like, oh no, but, you know, because there's more than one opinion when you've got a panel on. But we've done it a little bit differently today, and I quite like this. So as you heard, we had 2 red letters today, and I'll just say we're coming up to the end of the show. Did we finish with the other lady? What was her question? What am I doing wrong, and can you help? And I think you said she might find she's not doing anything wrong.
No.
No. And I think we were saying earlier that we have this perception that if it's, you know, if we think about things in a certain way, we think it's wrong, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. That's what you were saying.
No, it's a lot of our actions are exactly what we need to do to get us into that place where we bring up our unconscious stuff so we can heal it and let it go. When we've done that, then now we can be more authentic, and now we'll choose someone that is aligned with that. But until that place, if we still got trauma or unhealed stuff, then we'll keep choosing, and that's not wrong. That's not wrong.
Right.
It may put us in a difficult situation, or like as in a painful situation, but it's not wrong. It's like, and when we resist that painful situation, we're not getting the lesson.
Right. There you have it, guys. There you have it on the After Dark show. We've had a really good conversation. That we've run out of time.
We have,
Right, we've run out of time. We've had a real good conversation. DS says yes, Daniel. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. You are truly, hang on, if you truly are your authentic self. And I think that's the biggest thing, I think, out of everything. And I think this is what the R retreat is all about. And it is about us identifying and noticing and knowing who we are at our core. I think that's really, really important. So the R retreat is on the 30th of October. We're doing a one-day special. And the link is on the bottom of, you can see it going across the screen. If you go to, no, that's not the one, that's my email address. The one I'm on is www.yvonnemichelle.com. It was up last week, so I think you've got it somewhere. www.yvonnemichelle.com. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. yvonnemichelle.com. If you do that, you will go onto my website. You will see the link for the retreat. Click the link, read it, scroll down, and secure your spot. And do remember that for the cost of the retreat, it includes your lunch for the day. And I'm hoping that we will be there. We'll have a great time in the evening. I see one more comment there. I'm going to just read that out before we go. And that's from George Williams. He says, most people don't realize that there is, you've gone, there, oh, there it is, there we go. Most people don't realize that there is a world within that reflects the world without. This is misinterpreted. I feel because of the lack of internal dialogue and the lack of internal awareness, also the knowing of thyself.
George knows the stuff, I tell you that.
He does. Hi, George. I'm so glad you're here, George Williams. I love that comment. DS is saying, thank you for another fantastic show. Learned a lot again. Thank you so much. I'm going to use that as a testimonial as well, DS. Thank you for that. Samantha Dalton says, when one doesn't learn the lesson or heal, you will meet someone in a different body, but similar energy to the last one. This is life directing you to go within to higher heights.
Exactly. Boom! Very well said.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Samantha Dalton. Thank you very much for being here. We will be back here next week between the hours of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. for the After Dark Talk show. So we just want to say thank you for being here. Do remember, listen, guys, don't keep this to yourself, but share this. Tell people about this YouTube channel. Tell people about this show. We want people to grow. We want people to thrive. And most of all, we want people to have healthy relationships with themselves first and then with others. We're out now, but thank you for being here. Ciao, ciao. And I will see you next week. Ciao, ciao.
You ready? You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.